Hello and welcome to another episode of Spectrum Drama, where we take a look at the hottest posts on Spectrum for the week and give our opinions on them. So before we get started, don't forget we are still running our competition for the entirety of the month of September. So if you want to be in with the chance to win the awesome Grey Cat buggy and also the Mustang Alpha game package, then all you need to do is get commenting on this and every video in the month of September for your chance to win. And don't forget, if you want to sign up to our Discord, and also if you want to go and show ASA some love, for they did supply us with these awesome prizes, then pop onto either of those Discords, sign up, and that will give you more chances to win. Good luck everyone. Let's get started. Okay, so first up we've got a post from Sergeant Teddy Bear 59. Yep. Yeah, it's so sweet. And it says, CIG shouldn't be afraid of letting players get lost, to an extent. So the gist of this is basically, we should all get a little lost sometimes. Basically, what we're hoping is that CIG aren't going to go down the route of making cave systems and other systems like that too simple. We want to be able to have to navigate through these things and have some fear that you could get lost. That's kind of at least the gist of this. Same with, like there's an example here, Smog Planet. That would make it very difficult to see, and so long as you're given the tools to navigate, it'd be a challenge. So I like this idea. I mean, I can't wait for cave systems, but would you want a cave system which you could actually get lost in forever?
Well, yeah, kind of. Yeah. So this basically stems from the last, I think it was the Star Citizen Live, where they kind of showcased the cave networks, and it was shown that there was going to be lichen, whatever you want to call it, on certain rocks, so that it will show you where you can climb up. This is a kind of a staple in I'm not going to say first person, but a lot of kind of role play games. They use some sort of marker on an edge where you can climb up. Yeah. It's a very used mechanic type thing. I mean, I've got no real problem with it. It really depends on how much they put it in there. If they put it on every climbable surface, it's going to get a bit silly. Every now and again, where there might be a tricky, where do I go now? Then, okay, you let it go. Hopefully in the future, what you'd like them to do is sort of dial that back a little bit and add, like he says, more mechanics like glow sticks or some kind of scanner, maybe. To sort of aid navigation. But as a tier 0 implementation, I've got no real problems with this.
No, me either. I think, like Tomb Raider pretty much started the trend back in the day. Oh look, it's got some mesh on it, I can climb it or whatever. I think what they need to do, if they implement this and it's going to be a long-term implementation, then what they should probably do is, you send someone into a cave and they navigate it, and if they get to a point where they are lost, then you put something on. You know what I mean? Do it that way. Don't kind of put it on everything and then just let people kind of blindly go, oh, I can see everything I can climb in this room. Do you know what I mean? If they do it that way, kind of keep it a little bit more suspenseful, But yeah, I love the idea of glow sticks. Imagine that, going through a cave and you're like, oh, I've gone a bit deep here. I can barely see my last glow stick. Crack another one, chuck it on the floor. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
That would be really cool.
It'd feel really like alien-ish or something,
Yeah.
When you said scanner as well, that made me think, can you imagine if you had like the handheld alien scanner?
Like a motion scanner.
Creepy crawlies coming out of the caves, and you're just like, whip, whip. You're like, oh no. That would be wicked. Cool, so next up we've got a post from Hodo. Hodo? Is that the guy from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
And it says, CIG on Drake ships. Really? And the gist of this is, they said the Cutlass is the second most played ship in the game. And then they say it's one of the toughest ships. But to be perfectly honest, it's not. a super tough ship. And as stated here, it's one of the weakest hulls in the game, etc., etc. And then there's a list of like ships from weakest, from the weakest ship up, the top 10 weakest ships. There's a lot of hate in the comments on this because obviously it's very difficult nowadays to find the right statistics for anything, and apparently a lot of these statistics are actually wrong. I've not checked them, but what can you do? Yeah. You probably have a better indication of whether or not these are right, considering that you write pretty much every review. So, how's it look to you?
Well, I mean, you can go by the information that we're able to find, and whether it's right or wrong. We've really got no way of testing whether it is right or wrong. But this goes down to more the actual hit points of the ship hull itself, not the shields. This is the actual ship hull itself, and I've deliberately not kind of mentioned those numbers as much as possible. I might reference how tough it is when you can kind of compare, if one ship's got really high numbers and the other one's got really low, whether the numbers are completely accurate or not, it doesn't really matter, because you can get an idea of one is bigger than the other, sort of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I try not to talk about the actual hit points of the ship itself, because we've got no real way of testing that. The interesting thing about this post is it sparked another post in the Drake ship section on Spectrum, and John Crew actually posted this himself. And he's got some numbers about how tough the Cutlass actually is. And ship hit point wise, apparently the Cutlass actually has more hit points than the Freelancer. The reason the Freelancer feels a lot more tankier is because it's got massive amount of shields compared to the Cutlass. Now, what he also says about this is that although the Cutlass has a large health pool, the way the damage states work, if you hit sort of 2 critical systems on the ship, it doesn't matter how many hit points the ship's got, it's going to blow up. It doesn't matter. So we don't have the full picture yet, and they're still obviously they're still changing the stats every patch, so it changes a lot. But according to John Crew and the stats he's given us from the game, the Cutlass has a big health pool, but it tends to blow up. It's a tricky one. The other problem is that the shields in the game at the moment have kind of holes in them. There's certain areas on ships where weapons will go through a shield without even touching the shield. And that's a problem. That's a systemic problem with ships at the moment. And that's also why we are getting a shield rework, which was actually due in 3.7, but has now moved back to 3.9, I believe.
Yeah, sounds about right. It definitely needs something, because there's a lot of problems with this side of the ship argument. How good are its shields? How much hit points does it have? But like you said, I mean, you can have 1.6 billion hit points, but if, like you said, a couple of the critical systems are damaged concurrently, then it doesn't matter how many hit points the bit of metal next to that component had. It's going to blow up regardless. So that's what I like about this as well, is that it takes into consideration a lot of factors. It isn't just it has 5,000 hit points, so it doesn't matter where you hit it, you need to get through that. You don't. You just need to be really well targeted on that ship, and you can take it down really easy. And that is one of the biggest pluses of this game. This argument about the Freelancer Cutlass, I mean, I'm a fanboy of the Freelancer. Everyone knows this. I now own a Cutlass, and I've flown them both, and I've done combat in them both, and I've been shot at a lot in the Cutlass. Not so much in the Freelancer, although I've had fights in the Freelancer, and I will tell you now, I'm pretty confident that Cutlass took a hell of a lot more damage than the Freelancer ever did. So I'm kind of in the Cutlass side of the argument there, in that I think that it is a beefy ship, because when we did that stream last week, I was getting hammered, and fair enough, the shields took a lot, but didn't take it all. Whereas I've been in fights before where I feel fine, and then it gets through the shields, and all of a sudden that Freelancer's like paper thin. It's weird. So I think it's really, just swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, it really depends on where you get hit. If someone concentrates the fire on like one of your side cannons on the Freelancer, it's going to melt pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We've also got the actual ship armor stat, which hasn't even been implemented into the game yet. So we can say that some ships are a little bit weaker than others in terms of taking damage. Fair enough. But don't take everything as concrete for now, because there's going to be a lot more changes to come.
Okay, so next up we've got a post from the lesser known underwear designer Kevin Klein, and it says tool roadmap progress tracker. Hey guys, I always want to say it like, hi guys.
Hi guys.
I wrote a roadmap. Hi guys. Analytic tool that will be updated weekly after new roadmaps have been released. So basically we've seen this kind of stuff before. It's a tool that will update the roadmap frequently. And also give you the states for all these things. So it'll give you more of a percent. So whereas it says, 12 of 75 tasks completed, he'll just say, oh, it's this percent. So it's pretty cool. I mean, we have seen this before. We actually looked at one a while back, a few months back, that was massively in detailed, and just kind of, it covered everything you could ever want to know about the roadmap. But sometimes it was a little too scary to look at. So this one, I think it's nice. It's very nice looking. So I'll definitely use it.
Yeah, he's kind of styled it on the actual CIG roadmap. Aesthetically, it's really good. I quite like it, but I use one that's actually gets placed on Twitter. I can't remember the guy's name, but he actually got featured, I think, on CIG post or a letter recently, and his is just basically a one-pager, but it shows everything that's moved, progressed or digressed sometimes. It's very clear, and it's easy to have on Twitter, especially when we're doing sort of update videos or whatever. I really like the one that he's posted here in Spectrum, but I don't think I'd use it over the one I use already. There you go.
Yeah. I think once you've got something that works for you, that's pretty much it. I mean, to be honest, I still just look at the roadmap that works for me. I mean, there is an additional post here from Mr. Klein saying that he's going to add, I think in a week, he's going to add Squadron 42 roadmap. He's going to do some polishing work, and he's going to add an area for lost cards, which is quite cool. So basically things that have been removed from the roadmap, you'll still be able to kind of see them, but they're just removed, which again is quite cool. So it's definitely interesting, but I think it's a drop in the ocean of things that are that already do this job. But well done, Kevin, because it is very nice looking.
Yeah.
Cool. So next up, we've got a post from Multicam, and it says, "Will my huge Javelin and shared drawings make me a winner in the ship build campaign?" So there's a bunch of pictures. So obviously you've got a Javelin, which is I think about 1 meter long. It's funny, I was saying that it looks a bit in the first couple of pictures just like an artist rendering, and then you see that third picture and you're like, oh, it's either a very good rendering or that's a bloody good model.
Yeah.
So but yeah, they're pretty cool. I like the fact that he's sort of saying, we'll kind of add the 3D file, share the files and stuff for this sort of thing. Is there not some dirty grey area for this? We covered something similar to this before, didn't we?
Yeah. There was some people making models out of wood, I think it was, and they actually got like a kind of a cease and desist or whatever it was from CIG because they want to, I don't know, market it. Because they've actually got a company making kind of like kit models. So we thought it had something to do with that. Maybe they got sort of banned for doing that because they were sort of giving them away, and CIG doesn't want that. Whereas this guy has basically just built them for his own collection, I guess. They're really good models. So this basically stems from there's a competition running at the moment. Well, it's not really a competition. It's like a what's the best ship in the game thing, where people are just sort of declaring their allegiance for a specific ship, and then at the end, CIG is going to total it up and let us know what is the favourite ship in the verse type thing.
Okay.
So he's this multicam has kind of thrown these pictures out there, showing his support for all these big ships. Unfortunately, I think the top ship campaign thing that's going on at the moment is only for flyable ships. And out of all the models that Multicam has got here, I think it's just the Gladius that he could actually put into the competition or contest. All the rest are non-flyable, but they still look really cool.
They do look really awesome. There's a funny post actually, because they mention that. They say, oh, by the way, the ship showdown is focused on current flyable ships. And so someone said, you could always give me a free Javelin to use in the PU. I don't mind if it's buggy. I'll find them all for you. That way he can post a Javelin model. I'm like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. They'll love that. What makes me laugh even more is the fact that someone took that seriously, or so I thought. Right, I'm going to read this comment because it did make me laugh quite a bit. Captain Snuggle says, CIG don't want to release a ship without all of its features added, except when it came to the Reclaimer and salvaging, the Prospector and mining, the Aquila and exploring, the 890 and VIP missions, the Merlin docking with the Connie, the Eclipse and stealth, the Starfarer and refueling, the Caterpillar and cargo hauling. Other than those, it's all true.
Yeah, at first you think he's being serious. And then oh, okay, no, he's trolling. Okay.
I rolled my eyes there for a minute and then kept reading and went, it's brilliant. Well done, Captain Snuggles. So that made me actually laugh out loud at work, and people were looking at me like, what are you doing? Nobody laughs at work. So, I was very impressed actually with the models, and I must admit, that is such a neat model as well. The Javelin. I'm quite impressed with that. Okay, so last up we've got a post from Nebel, and it says customizable starter packs, my suggestion. And basically the gist of this really is it would be really nice if the starter packs didn't consist of just two simple ships. If you could kind of build a starter pack a little bit more customizable for your needs, so you don't have to buy a game package and then obviously upgrade ships and all that kind of stuff. There's a few images here which kind of show an artist's rendering of what it could look like on the website, which is again above and beyond. You don't need to do this stuff, we kind of got it, but I love that you did. It does look pretty cool, and it just kind of gives you an idea of what's possible, I suppose. We've talked about this before. Would you, when you first looked at this game, if there was an option maybe to have not had a Mustang or a Aurora, but to maybe go for an Avenger or something from the off, would you have done that, or would you have still gone down the kind of dip my toe in route?
I would have gone down the dip my toe in. I think when I pledged, there was basically just two ships. Or whatever it was. This kind of idea, having like a modular starter pack where you can tailor it to what you want, is kind of a good idea, and it would probably work in CIG's favour if you gave a sort of better, a better selection of ships. You could basically pick any ship that is available as your first ship. If you want to put $200 or whatever as your first ship, then that option's there for you. But at the moment, the starter packs are basically the Mustang, the Aurora, or the Core, I believe.
Yeah.
Are the only ones you can actually get starter packs with. Whereas a lot of people, due to people's recommendations, they want to go straight for the Titan. So it would make sense if that wasn't an option. People would pay that extra $10 for a Titan with their game package if that option was available.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think, are gonna buy an Aurora or a Mustang, for example, and then maybe not everyone is then going to say, right, well, now I'll buy an Avenger. They'll probably just say, I'll earn that in game.
Yeah.
And that loses out on additional tiny bit of money for CIG, so if they just allowed you to go straight for that ship, it would make a lot more sense. Most
of us upgraded our starter ship up to the Titan or whatever you've got now, but not everyone is clued up about the whole ship upgrade system, so they might not even know it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I never really paid attention to that side of things for a long time, and so I got my Aurora, and then I went, I really like that Freelancer, so I just bought a Freelancer. I didn't try and maneuver my ships around, and it was only because someone very, very kindly gave me a Gladius just for testing, literally just to test out the HUD, and then it was kind of do what you want with it, and so that magically became a Cutlass, and that's the first time I've ever really thought about like turning ships into other ships. It's a bit of a mind fuck as well, the way it works when you kind of like you melt your ship and transfer and do all that kind of stuff. I was a bit intimidated by it the first time I did it. I think I was on chat with you going, do I push this button now? I don't want to mess this up.
yeah. When you're dealing with real money, you don't want to mess that shit up too much.
Oh yeah.
And there's no explanations on the website about what that does really. It says once you do this, there's no turning back. Well, that's kind of not right, because there is you can melt your ship and buy something else. And, whereas if we had these starter packs with a selectable ship that you wanted right from the beginning, it's tricky because ships are always changing and there's new ones coming out, and if you haven't flown that ship before, you don't know if it's the right fit for you. But at least the option would be there for people that wanted that option.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So there you have it. That's all the posts for this week. We hope you found them amusing or informative. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Citizen videos. And just a special announcement, we will be having a special guest next week on our Spectrum Drama video, a quite well-known Star Citizen streamer. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified of that video. And don't forget to comment again on every video in the month of September for your chance to win that game package and also the Grey Cat Buggy. And don't forget to show ASA, the Australis Space Alliance, some love, because they are awesome people supplying us with all these goodies for you guys. Pop over and say hey. And that's it. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So there you have it. That is all the posts for this week. We hope you enjoyed them. We hope you found them informative or amusing. If you did like these vids, do you know what it is? Do you know what threw me off there? I was desperately trying not to say another cool, but I have to, because it just goes, I say, okay, cool, okay, cool, okay, and now it's cool.
Okay.
It's such a weirdo. Right, here we go. Cool. So there you have it. That is the posts for this week. We hope you liked them. We hope you found them enjoyable and amusing and penis. Fuck is wrong with my words. I can't say the actual words I want to say. One more time. Cool. So there you have it. That's all the posts for this week. We hope you found... Fuck. Fuck. I'm just going to cut that bit in. Yeah. Take a vape. Cool, so there you have it. That's all the posts for this week. We hope you liked the posts this week. No, oh, fuck off. Jesus, this week. Have you seen this week? Have I talked about this week lately? Fuck you. One more time. Cool. So there you have it. That's all the posts for this week. We hope you liked the post this... Oh, fuck off! Fuck off! Fuck off! What's wrong with me? Jesus Christ. What's going on? I can't say the words I want. I hope you like me. Yeah, we hope you found the posting. Yeah, okay. Fucking hell. Right.